Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to use SiteScope in order to monitor a Windows server. Now, this Windows server would be, let me guess, it's going to be our OO server. It doesn't really matter though, because one server or another, we're just going to fish for metrics and maybe something else, maybe some other components that are installed on this server. And it doesn't really matter as long as it's a Windows server. And we are going to see the results in OBM, right? So here's my OBM. Let me enable Flash and reload the page. And here we have our SiteScope. So first thing first, of course, we are going to review our CIs in OBM. Let's begin over there. Okay, yes, we're losing the mouse a little bit. Don't worry about that. Okay, and I want to actually open a performance perspective because there I can see the CIs in the View Explorer, and also since I'm not going to crash the server, and without crashing there are no events. Events react to specific occurrences, right? So instead we will just monitor the infrastructure of our OO server using the SiteScope. So as you see, there is no OO server over here. So in case we get a new CI will be created over here. So let's go to our SiteScope and we'll create a new group. We'll call it OO server. Now, this specific video is inspired by a guy named Amit, which for some reason calls me sir and writes lots of things in capital letters. Probably he's just excited about the switch. So yeah, so I hope this kind of will work for him and for everybody else that are watching. So after creating the group, let's deploy a new monitor. And this is going to be Windows resources, right? So first of all, we're going to call it OO resources. Hope I didn't make any mistakes over there, and we're gonna go with OO. It's going to be, the server is going to be OO, and the username is going to be Stratus Demo ADM. The password, we already saved it. Let's save and test. I hope it works. Yes, there it is. So connection successful. And now we can actually see the counters, right? Collection method. Okay, available counters. Okay, let's see if we have anything over here. Okay, there's a lot of things over here. Let's use the global settings instead. Should not load everything, but if we roll the objects, we might see a thing or two, maybe not. Okay, instances, counters, no. Let's see what's inside the PDH library. Basically, I want memory and CPU. Okay, and we don't have any of those. Okay, so direct registry queries. Let's see the counters that we get. You know what? I'm going to select all of them. And we have SQL client, connection pools, non-pooled connections. Okay, that's not much, but we'll add a couple more monitors later. All right, monitor run sec. We'll run it every, let's say, 2 minutes. All right. And then in the integration settings, let's see, well, it's based on the computer. Okay, verify and save. Let's see what we got. So this is the Windows resources. Did not bring us too much details. That's just the beginning. That's one of the monitors. Doesn't really matter. Okay, it's trying to save it. Let's wait for it. All right. And we have several counters. Nothing, not too much. All right. Fantastic. Let's deploy new monitor, and we're gonna call it, you know what, CPU, because we are going to be doing that on basic. So CPU on 00. We are going to choose the 00 server. The monitor run settings, of course, 2 minutes. Now let's see what we got in the integration settings. Computer configuration IMV, very fine, save. All right, there we go. It should refresh. Yep. There we go. So there we have the generic utilization. Not too much, not too little, it's okay. All right, so let's add ourselves another monitor. Monitor for memory. Memory. All right. So there's our memory monitor, and we're gonna call it memory on 00. Right, monitor run settings is going to be 2 minutes, and then it's going to be the 00 server, and the integration settings. Let's just see. Yep, we got swap and we got everything else, and it's all good. Fantastic. So we have all of those thresholds. Let's add ourselves a new monitor, and this time it's going to be service monitor. Okay, and it's going to be a service. Basically, we have a service running over there. We have a Postgres database, and we have, what else? We have the OO itself. So it's going to be services on OO, right? You know what it's going to be. Let's see what kind of services we got from there. Okay, it's loading. Basically, it's connecting to the server. It gets all of the services that are running on this machine. So let's wait for it to finish the query. And based on what we find, we will modify the name in general settings. All right. So there we go. We got lots of services over here. So let me see if I find the if we find ourselves an MicroFocus, uh, Central, and Rust. So basically, Central is the controller for the all flows, and Rust is the executor. So you know what? I'm going to choose this service, and I'm going to say uh, Central service on all. Fantastic. Great. So now we go to integration settings, and whoa, there is like lots of those things. Some of them are custom, not custom. And you know what? We're not going to care too much at the moment. We just verify and save. There it is. Now I'm going to right click it, and I'm gonna say copy, and then right click this, and I'm gonna say paste. And we have a second one. We go to its properties, and we're going to say general settings. We're gonna say Rust service on OO, and then in the monitor run settings, we're gonna say 2 minutes. And then the service monitor settings, of course, we will need to reload services. Let it run for a second. And now we are going to choose another micro. Okay, that's going to be the Rust. Verify and save. Of course, we can play a little bit with the metrics and everything else, but we're not going to do that. Okay, let's try and do Postgres. There should be a Postgres service running on it, and I don't want to deploy a Postgres monitor at the moment, just for the Postgres itself, because I need the JDBC and everything else, and I don't want to deal with that at the moment. So I'm going to paste the monitor just once more, going to its properties, and I'm going to say Postgres SQL, and then we'll delete all of those nice things. We'll go to monitor run settings, change the frequency to 2, All right, and then in the service monitor settings, I'm going to reload the services just once more. Oh, come on. It's okay, that's this POC setup, so it happens. Let me log in back in. Okay, and while it's loading, let's see our systems infrastructure over here. So I'm going to refresh the whole page just because, and we'll go to the all server, and there we have our copy. We go to its properties, general settings, and we are going to do PostgreSQL service on OO. Fantastic. Service monitor settings. We'll reload the services. There we go. The services are loaded much faster this time. If I type it, no, that's partition. Postgres, do we have Postgres? We might not have it as a service because it's a part of the OO. It's not running as independently. In newer versions, you need to install a service of your own before you deploy the OO. So there we would have it. But now we don't, so I'm just going to right click. Yes, discard any changes. And I'm going to delete this monitor. So now I'm going to cheat. Okay, basically I can try and monitor a process. You know what? Let's try to monitor a process. So process, and no, I don't have a services. We can try to monitor a process, but instead I'm going to do a port monitor. Okay. Now let's see the port monitor. We're gonna say PostgreSQL on OO. The host name is going to be OO. And we can exclusive.com. And I made the typo, exclusive.com. All right, and we are going to say 5432, which is the port of the PostgreSQL run. I'm gonna say every 2 minutes. Okay, let's see the integration settings, what it says. Node configuration item. So, well, we could do SQL Server. We don't care though. Okay, so we're gonna say verify and save. All right, there we go. So Postgres is there, and in case we stop the services, all of this will fail. Okay, now let's go back to our OBM, and we'll go to performance perspective, and we'll select systems infrastructure. At some point, the SiteScope should be able to create a CI in our UCMDB. However, that did not help. That did not occur. And the related CI, let's see what we got for the related CI of this specific event. Go for it. We'll see the resolve hints. Do we have the CI? Okay, at all, at exclusive site scope. Okay. So we did not get the CI created, not yet. It will arrive. It will arrive eventually. But just in case we want to rush it, we'll go to preferences, and we'll go to integration preferences, and it's going to be APM integration. Although it says APM, it's not really APM. It's oh, you see, it goes to OBM, right? So topology reporting settings. There we go. Topology synchronization time interval 7 days. So looking good. Okay, resynchronize. Okay. So there we enable the synchronization. There is a harder synchronization, but we don't want to do that. Not yet. That's just an extreme measure. All right, and the idea is to get the OOCI somewhere over here. Of course, if it doesn't create a CI, something is wrong with my SiteScope, but I guess I could cheat. Let me see if I can access the SiteScope performance graphs in the meanwhile, right? So I'll select the SiteScope server, which monitors itself. You know what? Let's see if we actually got this detail documented over here. So we'll go to show properties, we'll see the CI details, and maybe it would say that it's monitored by SiteScope. So last modified by, okay, name SiteScope, primary DNS name, display label, okay, and it might actually be that we don't have access to SiteScope because it doesn't have the tag that says that it's monitored by SiteScope. So we'll check. So I'm creating a completely new dashboard over here. Let's see the data source. And there we have it. So SiteScope, it seems that SiteScope does not report anything to OBM. To fix that, we'll go to certificate management. We'll import a new one. So on port 443, we are going to say OBM. We're going to load the certificate and we're going to say import. And there's the certificate was imported. Now I'm going to do the same thing, OBM on port 8443 for UCMDB. Let's see if we got anything. Yes, we got. So we select all of them. We say import just in case. All right, that's really good. We'll go to integration preferences. We will modify that one and we'll try to resynchronize. What was it? Yeah, hard resynchronize. All right. So we know that OBM has the SiteScope certificate. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the integration. This line would not happen. But sometimes you need to import the certificates into certificate management in order for it to work. So we are going to go back to dashboard and we're going to say refresh data source. Okay, and let's see if we got SiteScope this time. No, not yet. Okay, fantastic. So at this moment, we need to wait for the hard synchronization to work. So let's wait several minutes and see what happens. And just to make sure that we did everything right, we are going to restart the SiteScope service. So it would capture all of the certificate changes. So SiteScope it is. We will restart the service. So there it is stopping. There it is starting and running. Well, it's not running yet, just a part of it is running, right? So let's refresh the page. And once we get a full login window, not a partial one, probably we'll get a partial one at the moment, we are going to log in and see the result. Okay, there we have it. So it's going to be admin, helium34_L, and it's going over there. Fantastic. So there's our SiteScope is restarted. Let's click away from performance dashboards. Then we'll go to systems infrastructure once more to see if we might have finally received our CIs. I hope we did. Let me know. Let's run all of the monitors. Fantastic. Okay, and the system infrastructure for some reason takes its time to load. Let's try to click away and click back, performance perspective. And we don't get anything. Okay. For every refresh, there is a harder refresh, basically. And there, after refresh, there we have it. So we have the OO server and we have SiteScope. So we can safely assume that SiteScope reported that it's actually managed by SiteScope as well. So let's see the details before we dive into the performance dashboards and try to see the results. So I'm going to say show properties. That's going to show me the CI properties. And in case I enlarge it, display labels, they're monitored by. Now it still says OM. Completely fine. Let's do the same trick for OO over here. We're gonna say show properties, and let's see if it's monitored by SiteScope at that moment. All right, display label, display created, enable, monitored by SiteScope. All right, there we have it. So let's try to see the resources on the OO server. So I'm creating a new dashboard and I'm going to edit it. And now in data sources, I should see SiteScope direct. Okay, and now we'll query the class name, everything that we have on the server. Probably I did not wait enough time to get this information. Yep, we did not get this information in time. Let's try to refresh data source just in case. That's the missing point. We might wait for it a little bit longer. Okay, I think we need to wait for it just a little bit longer. So let's see the monitoring history. In monitoring history, the name monitoring history, correct monitor C. All right. So history. Okay, dashboard monitoring history view options. And I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna save past 12 hours. It's not related, but I just want to see some of the history from time to time, right? That's not too much to ask. Okay, and there is also the option of looking at the unified console. Let's see if it opens for us. Okay, and there is the HTML5 view. There's the multi-view. All right, and in the multi-view, we see that the OO server is completely fine. The test is, of course, not. The AOS server, the test server, it looks okay. All right. So, yeah, so it just took a minute to load. It's completely fine. In the meanwhile, in our SiteScope, let's close it in Chrome. Doesn't need to be open in Chrome any longer. All right, let's see if we get the SiteScope metrics to load. No, not yet. They're still unavailable to us. So let's go back to our dashboard and we are going to say clear cache and refresh data source. Okay. One last time before we decide that we need to wait for longer. Yes, we need to wait longer. All right, and after pushing the resynchronization button over here, it actually works now. And here we have our graphs. So let's go with CPU, and the metric name is going to be utilization. There we have our graph. So let's make it a little bit more interesting. So we're gonna say the CPU is going to be bars, and then where's the color? Actually, maybe this is the color. Yes, this is the color. So that's going to be our CPU. Fantastic. Now we'll go and we're gonna say, you know what? Add another metric from SiteScope. And this time the metric is going to be memory. And oh no, no calculated metrics. Oh come on, turn it off. Turn it off. Okay, and we're gonna say physical memory used. Okay. Oh, come on, I don't want to see the calculated metrics. Let me go back. Come on, calculated metrics. I don't want to see you. Okay, it's time to refresh the page. And let's redo it really quickly. So we go title, it's going to be metric graphs. Metric? No, I'm gonna say metric graphs. Then we're gonna say site scope, we're gonna say CPU, we're gonna say met utilization in general. And there we have it. We are going to paint it green. Right, and display styles, it's going to be bars, just because. Okay, add metric, and same goes here. Size code, memory, metric name is going to be megabyte free. Oh, megabyte free, I don't like it. Let's say percent used. All right, in display styles, we're gonna say lines, and automatically it's pink, so that's good enough for me. Maybe not percent, okay. Let's see in SiteScope. That's the easiest way to figure it out. So we'll go to memory and let's see. So 35% use, megabyte free, virtual memory free, virtual memory used. Okay, so we're gonna say megabyte, yeah, percent used is going to be good enough. So it's going to be percent used, and that's a pink line. It's going to change later. Okay, fantastic. So back to utilization. Okay, and for display styles, okay, style has all metrics, no label. No, there is no rule. It's okay. Access and grid, show table. Okay, fantastic. So we have ourselves a little bit of lines. We have a little bit of bars, and line fill, line one, no point connected, staircase, stock percent, all metrics. All right. So that looks pretty good. Now we have those two components over here, and we are pretty happy with it. Let's try to add another row. And in this row, we are going to say a pie. I want to see a pie. So I'm going to edit it. I'm going to go to SiteScope, and I'm going to say memory, megabyte free. And then I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to say megabyte used, right? Okay, let's review the metric once more. So megabyte free, virtual memory free, we don't have the used. So we don't have the free and we don't have the used. Let's see if we can do it with CPU. Yeah, let's do it with CPU instead, just because I don't have the metrics. So I'm going to say CPU, and I'm going to say utilization CPU number one. Then I'm going to say CPU, and that's going to be CPU2. Then I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to say CPU3. And then I'm going to say CPU4. The name of the metric is going to be CPU breakdown. All right. Back to dashboard. Okay, and we're going to say save, and we're going to say site scope based resources. There we go. So that is our SiteScope based resources. Now, of course, I can make it as a default dashboard. I'm not sure that I really want to make it the default one, but there we go. We have some CPU and memory utilization. That's the memory, that's the CPU, and then we have the CPU breakdown. So there are all kinds of components over here, and that's pretty much it. That's how you monitor your servers with SiteScope. Now, let's see how it plays out if we go to OO, and we'll actually try to use some of it. Let's say, let's run a couple of services. Let's open the orchestration. No, we don't want to download it, so let's close that one. Let's say no, and open the orchestration just to see how it ticks over there. So we're programming every 2 minutes, so our graphs would be changing accordingly, right? Let's try to enable that just once more. It will take a little bit of time. And there we have it. So when we run our memory, it changed, right? And the CPU probably is changing as well. Yeah, there we have it. So now the graphs will change after a couple of minutes over here. Okay, they're not live graphs, but they are refreshing every few minutes, right? So in the meanwhile, we have, okay, we already have the studio instance open, and now we'll go and we're gonna say, you know what? I'm going to add a graph, and in this graph, I want to see the SiteScope port status. Okay, and yeah, it says in milliseconds, so probably it should have been something else. It should have been a yeah. Yes, I want to remove this chart, and I'm going to add a single value, maybe text, and the text is going to be based on that's not the one that I need. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to choose single value. Let's see if the single value would work for us for the port metric. So it's going to be port. It's going to be status 200. Status 200. Okay, I like it. Okay, let's give it a save. We did not title it properly, but that's completely fine. So now I'm going to shut down the service. You know what? I'm going to power down the machine entirely, okay? So I'm going to do just this, run, okay? And then it's going to be, gonna do it like this, command prompt admin. And I'm going to say, shut down -r -t 60, okay? And then I'm going to say ipconfig release. Okay, so now we lost all connectivity to this machine from our SiteScope. If we try to run it, the CPU monitor should fail. Okay, and if we're now our SiteScope logged out again. Those logouts can be overridden in the system configuration file. I did not change it, so it's like every 10 minutes or something, I guess. All right, and now all of it is fading, right? And there we have a spike in our metrics over here. The CPU breakdown changed its parameters, and at some point this port metric would change as well, right? So let's go to all server, run everything. Okay, and now So you know what, I'll go to Postgres and I'm going to give it a try. Status 200, and now it's still running. It wouldn't be able to find it. So hopefully it would show us either unknown or something else. In the meanwhile, since it's all failed, when we go to top in events and we want to examine the events themselves, there we have metric status changed, utilization. Basically, yeah, we start getting events, but yeah, but the whole server got restarted really fast. Oh my God, it just went back to normal, like seriously fast. But yeah, let's see if our performance perspective is able to capture that. Are we? Are we getting that, or it's going to be too late? No, we did, yeah, so I needed to power down for longer. But yeah, I just rebooted so fast that it doesn't really matter any longer. So this is how you basically do some of the basics of monitoring using SiteScope and OBM, and this is also how you fix the connectivity in case you don't get your metrics or any kind of data from SiteScope to OBM. I hope you like it. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.